lovers. Have I got a fun palette for you? Boom, 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 check it out. It is the Violet Voss Berry Burst Fun Size Palette. It's got 10 colors. We're gonna talk about the packaging. We're gonna talk about the price. We're gonna talk about the formula. We're gonna build the eye look you see here. So stay tuned and we are gonna get right into it. Thank you for joining me. It's Nicole from Nicole Beauty Co. So I am really excited you have chosen to click on my video. We are going to discuss, boom, check it out, the Violet Voss Berry Burst Fun Size, a miniature palette that consists of 10 really pretty eyeshadows. Check them out. We have really 4 traditional mattes, we have 2 satins, and the rest are shimmers. Some edge more towards traditional shimmers, some are kind of more foily metallic. We have 10 pans in the palette and each one is 1.2 grams, and so that would give us a 12 gram total palette weight. And that's a per gram price of $1.50. So I think this is a really pretty palette. This is great for you ladies who are looking for a more neutral look, a more romantic, soft look, something a little less bold. However, that being said, you know me, I'm gonna do it a little more bold than natural. And if you haven't joined me before, I'm Nicole from Nicole Beauty Co. and I welcome you to my makeup channel, perfect for makeup lovers. And if you don't know much about me, just to let you know, I'm 49 and I have all the problems that go with a normal 49-year-old. So I've got, you know, older skin, uneven texture, uneven tone, lots of facial scarring, huge pores, but we're gonna jump right in and go for it. So my foundation is already on. I've got a teeny hint of contour. My brows are done with Anastasia Beverly Hills. I am using DIOR face primer. I am using Bobbi Brown foundation. And if there's anything I neglect to mention in terms of my products, don't worry. I always list everything that I'm using on my face in the description down below. So let us dive in. We are going to start with this deep chocolate color and we are going to go from there. In taking an E25 blending brush, I'm going to load that up. So if you have not joined me before, I do like to point out that I have a pretty noticeable, very large scar on this side of my eye. So it's always a little bit of a challenge to get both my eyes even because this scar is roughly a little bit bigger than ½ an inch and it is a gouge. So it's a concave scar that I got when I was probably 3, maybe 2. Somewhere before I actually remember getting it, but it's a pretty serious scar, just so you know. So I love Violet Voss. I have several of their palettes. You've seen me review the Violet Voss Pro Ride or Die palette. You've seen me review the Violet Voss Coral Crush palette, one of my absolute favorites. This is the first time I have really dove into one of their mini palettes, and I am so far really liking my results. I really enjoy a deep chocolate color. But what I frequently find when I use chocolates is that there is a ton of fallout. It is very hard to build up a consistent tone. And that doesn't really matter what the brand is. You know, I've used Huda, I've used Charlotte Tilbury. I just seem to have a problem with browns, but this is building up quite nicely. So thus far, that is a plus. So we're gonna go into this deep berry color, which somewhat looks like a matte in the pan, but there are just a few little sparkles, so I'm gonna say that this is technically a satin. And this is just a airbrush crease brush from Sephora, in case you were interested.
Come up here. There's always makeup time for. There's always time. There's always time. Where's your good girl? Oh no, don't leave. Oh no, don't. Where's my good girl? Here's my good girl. Here's my good girl. Where's my good girl?
Let me put her out since I did not shut my door. So that's my Zarina. She is my mature Dogo Argentino, and she is a show dog. She's a 3-time champion. She has police training. She is a Muscovite. She comes from Moscow. And I'm sure at some point you will meet all my dogs, but she is my oldest girl. She is going to be 6 shortly. So we're going to go in with this buff color. So I'm feeling like I really need something extra because I'm just feeling extra today. So I am going to pop on some crazy big wings off camera because I have to get really close to the mirror to do it and you wouldn't be able to see what I was doing. So back again with the start of the rest of my eyeliner. As you can see, I have 2 huge wings on and we're going to build the rest. Now do bear in mind, because I have such a massive scar, which if I can show you goes basically from here to here and is this big on my eye. My wings are never going to be perfect, but I am smudging a little of that same deep cranberry color. I'm going on the underside of the wing and pretty low underneath my waterline, because we're just going to get crazy with it. Now you could at this point, if you wanted to, do a cut crease. I'm not going to. I am going to continue on building my look. I'm going with this color right here and using an e.l.f. smudge brush. I'm just going to load up on that color. I'm going also on top of my ginormous wing. And then I'm dipping back into the brown, and I'm just building up the tones as I go, just back and forth until I get the look that I really want. And then I'm also going to go to one separate palette, because I don't have it here, Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and I will be using the tone, I believe it's pronounced Shax, which is the true black in this. And that's because sometimes when you use a liquid liner, you get brush strokes and you're just trying to take those out. So I'm going to be going into this champagne color. And I'm taking my brush and I'm using the champagne all along the edge because I'm trying to soften up and diffuse the dark brown that I started with. I could have started with champagne, but I didn't. Okay, I am starting with the lightest shimmer. This is a very, very silver pink color. And I'm gonna really pack that on in the inner lid towards the center. Shimmer and shine, actually this is a concealer brush, but because I want really, really dense coverage, sometimes I like to use concealer brush because I feel like it gives me the coverage I'm after. And now I'm taking the brush and smudging it outwards just because I'm getting a little bit of that champagne color in my inner crease. I really like the shimmer. I feel like the shimmer is so blendable and so creamy. And I brought that up really, really high just because I have hooded eyes and I'm kind of doing like a faux cut crease. I'm not really doing it, but I'm kind of mimicking it. And I have to look straight ahead so I can make sure that it shows when I get ready. So we are gonna next hit this beautiful pinky shimmer. It's got pink with little gold shimmers in it. I'm going to use the exact same concealer brush because I am purposely trying to mix the two. Hopefully you guys can see that. What a pretty color. And just like the first, really creamy consistency. As a matter of fact, the way these are performing, they really remind me much more of a cream than a pressed powder. I like it, and we are going to load up, boom, with that shimmer. Loading up my finger. Sometimes I really like finger blends. There's something tactile about it that I just really enjoy. And look how dark and black that. Using the darkest pink, I'm kind of marrying that deep kind of cranberry color under the lid. So I'm going to go in next with my Anastasia of Beverly Hills. I'm going to do an incredibly paper thin, the thinnest line I can pull, just starting at the inner upper corner and meeting that line. Now I'm not trying to put any width to it at all because I want the transitions that I have built up to actually show. And since I have hooded eyes, I have to be mega careful. I mean, technically this wing look is really built around the fact that I can't do a normal wing look because my eyes are so hooded. And hopefully you can see that that is as thin as I can basically do it on my 49-year-old and a half eyes. And that's exactly what I am looking for. I'm going in with my deep brown Sephora long-lasting eyeliner in deep brown. I'm going to take this liquid really tight on the waterline itself. So I am going to pop on some lashes off camera. I will be back. We are going to talk about it. Please stay put. Okay, here is my final look. Okay, let's discuss my final thoughts. Violet Voss, I feel like the formulas are just the same in the fun size as other palettes that I personally have tried. I think the packaging is very pretty. I think that the palette is very transportable. I find the color story very romantic, very soft, very applicable, but you can see I have a little bit of fallout on the pan. So if that bothers you, you know, there is going to be a little pigment dust. Now, one of the things I like about this is I feel like you can go dramatic, like I have done, or you can definitely choose to do something much more simple, much more wearable if you're looking for an everyday look. Now, the thing that I find very interesting about this color story is I actually think it very much matches the soft glam from Anastasia of Beverly Hills in terms of the general tones. I'm gonna hold up both palettes. Soft Glam, let's pull it back so the lights don't blow out the color, and the Berry Burst. You can see that there's extremely, hopefully there you can see the real colors. There is a little bit of difference. Obviously there's more cranberry color in this, or more pinks, but essentially they're pretty darn close. So if you kind of really like the Anastasia of Beverly Hills Soft Glam palette, I think you would like this fun size palette. If you don't want to spend for the full Soft Glam, this could get you into a very similar color look at a much lower point of cost, because this is of course $18 in a per gram cost of $1.50. So I think that that's great. I think that the looks are buildable. I certainly built up a lot of different tone. Just close my eyes so you can see. I think they're fun. I think they're beautiful. I think this is a lovely palette for autumn into winter. I think it's very romantic. I could certainly do this if I was looking for more of a, what I would consider an evening glam look, or if I was just feeling it, you know. My lipstick, to let you know, is my Lisa Eldridge. This is the Velvet Muse, and I topped that with the lightest shimmer color from the palette. I have Kat Von D Alchemy Holographic, and I use the pink opal on the cheeks, which I think is very pretty. It is definitely my current favorite in terms of shimmer. Now, I think that this look has everything I'm looking for. It's a reasonable price, it's beautifully packaged, it's transportable, it's blendable. I did have a teeny bit of fallout on the eyes, but I don't consider that unreasonable given the fact that I probably have 6 to 7 layers of color on top of them. You know, I expect personally a little fallout when I'm doing that type of blending, but I think it's beautiful. I really like it. I'm going to give it 2 thumbs up. I am happy with my purchase because I would much rather pop this in my purse if I was looking for this color story than take this, because it's so much bigger. Now, I did add, as I mentioned, 1 single color from the Kat Von D Shade and Light, and anytime I do what I would call these fantasy wings, I almost always use a little bit of pure black over them just to hide any brush strokes that might be apparent in daylight, which would not probably show up on camera. So generally speaking, I'm very happy with it. I think it's great. I did read some reviews where people said that they didn't feel it was pigmented. They didn't feel that it was blendable. I don't know what they're talking about, because I definitely felt like this was heavily pigmented. I felt like it's really blendable. I'm not getting patchiness in terms of the look. I did have a tiny bit of fallout through here, but I mean, like I said, I had a ton of makeup on, so that doesn't really freak me out at all. I really thought it was awesome. So generally speaking, I think it's a good buy. I'm really happy with that per gram cost. So one other thing I did fail to mention, this is made in China, the People's Republic of China, which I feel like on some level you should know that. And I did notice on the package, rather than saying made in China, they have made in P.R.C, which is the People's Republic of China. So I feel like they're actually hiding the fact that this is made in China, because why not just say made in China? Why would you put P.R.C unless you were trying to hide the fact that it was made in China? So, you know, take that for what you will. I feel like it's a nice brand. I'm happy with it. I think it's great. I love it. I'm gonna use it. It's gonna be awesome. Okay, so let's do a little bit of swatching. I think this would make a brilliant stocking stuffer, a great gift. I mean, can you really beat under $20? I'm just saying, if you're looking for indie makeup, if you want to get your toes wet on something that isn't Maybelline, isn't CoverGirl, isn't one of the more well-known brands, I really think that this is a fun palette. I think you're going to enjoy it. I think you're going to have a blast. That's my opinion. It worked great on my skin. I have 49-year-old super oily combination skin. I think it looks fantastic. And if you're looking for a really nice little gift, I think that could totally be it. I really appreciate you spending a moment of your day, and there will be another video soon. Thanks for tuning in to Nicole Beauty Co.